October is fast approaching, so it's time to consider what theme we might want to go with in our bullet journals for the month ahead. Of course, Halloween is an option, but if you're looking for some more ideas, then I've got 12 in this video. Though, spoilers, one of them is Halloween, but that's besides the point. To start off with though, we're just going in and putting in some color palettes. Just like the themes themselves, these are suggestions, but if you wanted to use the palettes that I've got in particular, the color numbers are listed in the description box below. Each of those are listed from top to bottom to make it a little easier for you. But as said, they are just suggestions. You can of course do the themes we're talking about and use completely different colors if you want to. Along with the color palettes, we're also going to put in some little decorative elements to each of those themes, just to kind of show you one of the possible ways that you could execute such a theme. And for the first one, rather than doodling it in myself, we're going to be using some washi tape stickers from the washi tape shop, but the theme idea itself is magic. This one's either related to Magic Day, which is the 31st of October, or we've also got National Magic Week. I believe that's national in terms of the US. There are a couple of different ways that you can interpret the idea of magic. You could go with kind of magicians, rabbits out of hats, that kind of thing. Or what I've gone with here is a little bit more like tarot, witchy vibes, crystals, that kind of stuff. I quite liked the color palette that came with these stickers, which is what the color palette suggestion is based on. So having a combination of the mustard, but then also the pale pink and the darker green. Our next theme idea though is sheep, as related to Sheep Day, which is celebrated on the last Saturday of October. This is a great theme for anybody who doesn't feel particularly confident with their doodling, because a sheep is effectively just a cloud with legs and a face. You can of course find some really easy doodle tutorials for sheep online, just by searching something like sheep drawing tutorial or something similar. I do also find that when it comes to doodling things in like we've got on this layout, going in with pencil first to make sure that you get the general shape of things before you commit to the pen can make the actual drawing in stage go a little bit smoother. October is also pizza month, so you could go for a pizza theme in your bullet journal. I took the top-down approach in terms of the decoration I'm putting in here, just because it's a bit of an easier perspective to draw compared to a side-on piece of pizza. For each of our pizza slices, you're effectively just starting with a triangle and then rounding out the edge where the crust is going to be. Then, much like a pizza in real life, you can top it with whatever you want. I went with some little red circles to kind of mimic pepperoni, a couple of mushroom slice designs, and some little green squiggles for capsicum. A nice way to build out a theme so that you don't just have to doodle the same thing over and over again is add in some other little shapes that could be thought of as being related but don't really necessarily have to be. In this case I added in some triangles, some kind of lightning bolts, and just kept them in the same color palette as the pizza slices. This way everything still looks cohesive, but I don't have to draw pizza in every single corner of a setup. Now, as I said, yes, I had to have a Halloween theme in here. For this one, I again decided to use products from the washi tape shop, and although they don't actually have this set in particular on the website anymore, they do have a new Halloween set that they've released this year, which also looks pretty cool. When we think about a Halloween theme though, there are a lot of different ways you could tackle that. It could be Halloween in the sense of very strictly super spooky things. It could be a little bit more cartoonish like we've got through these stickers. Or rather than focusing on Halloween as a big overarching theme, you might want to narrow it to one particular aspect. So for instance, it could be Halloween costumes, or Halloween candy, or Halloween monsters, or maybe just one particular type of monster. A lot of possibilities for that one. Our next theme idea though is that of cookies, which is another one that's really nice and easy to draw, especially when you take the top-down approach of just drawing circles and then maybe some circles with some little bite marks out of them. In terms of adding extra decoration around those cookies though, that's where you can get crumbs. So this is just done by putting down little dots of color on your page. Super easy. I of course decided to go for chocolate chip cookies, though technically speaking they could be raisin cookies. We're not going to know until we actually take a bite, unfortunately. I'm sure that raisin cookies aren't actually that bad. It's just the kind of like hope and promise of a chocolate chip cookie and you bite into it and it's just not what you expected. But I guess life can be like that sometimes. Moving on to our next theme idea though, this one is related to Plush Animal Day, which is on October 28th, and so you could have a plush animals theme. There's a lot of flexibility in a theme like this because it can be any type of plush animal you want. I decided to go with plush little birds, which I think kind of look like penguins, but they look more plush than anything else. I know they're not called squashmelons, but there's a type of toy that sounds like squashmelons. You could do your theme around that though. If you know what they're actually called, just let me know in the comments. And please don't be offended if the squashmelons are your favorite type of toy and I've just called them something completely wrong. Before though, we mentioned the idea that you can do a Halloween theme that is more focused on Halloween candy, and one of what I feel is like the most famous of Halloween candies is that of candy corn. Now, I've never actually had candy corn. I've heard that it doesn't taste very good, but it does make for a very easy theme. It's effectively just rounded triangles that have a very specific coloration. Candy Corn Day is actually on October 30th, whereas I would have assumed that it was on October 31st just because I so very strictly relate it to Halloween. I do think that candy corn offers a very fun, bright colour palette, and as said, it is super easy to draw, making it a great theme if you're not so confident with your drawing ability. A theme that is a little bit harder to draw is what we've got for our next one, which is why I decided to use my Fomemo thermal printer to print off the decoration idea. This just involved finding a colouring page online that suited the theme, printing it off using the little thermal printer, and then sticking it into the notebook. I wanted the line work on it to be a little bit thicker, so I went over the top with my Tombow Fudenosuke brush pen, but the theme idea itself is fossils as related to Fossil Day. This one falls on the Wednesday of the second full week in October, which means that this year it falls on my birthday. And I'm trying not to be offended by the fact that my birthday is Fossil Day. I'm not that old. Other fun things that fall on my birthday though are It's My Party Day, which I feel is fitting. I think we've also got International Day of the Girl, National Coming Out Day, and also National Curves Day. So lots of reasons to celebrate. For our next theme idea though, you might be a little bit curious about the colour palette that I've put down for it, because typically when we think of pumpkins as a theme, at least my mind defaults to orange, like super punchy orange. This is another one though where I've done the decoration as based on a tape from the washi tape shop, and this one just has a bunch of very pretty autumnal colours, and the pumpkins aren't that super vibrant orange colour. I think it just goes to show that when you do a theme, even one that does have a kind of typical colour palette associated with it, you don't actually have to use that typical colour palette. You could do a pumpkins theme where the pumpkins are purple if you want to. This tape though has the pumpkins and also some floral elements, some other botanical bits, and the tape itself offers many more designs compared to just the one piece that we've put down here, meaning it makes for super easy decoration in your notebook. When I read that Sloth Day was on the third Saturday of October, I knew I had to include it in our theme ideas video. So yes, of course, you can have a Sloths theme. The little sloth that I'm drawing in here is a recreation of a design from Sandia Design over on Etsy, and I appreciated how much easier it was to draw the sloth in compared to what I thought it was going to be. Typically I find that drawing animals isn't really a strong point for me, so when I do go to draw them in, I tend to like to do kind of more cartoony or stylized versions. Again though, this style is one that you can find a lot of tutorials for online, so just searching something like simple sloth doodles or simple sloth doodle tutorials, anything along those lines. While the rest of the ideas that we have on the page are specifically related to either days of celebration or weeks or even the full month of October, our next theme idea is here just because I thought it would be cute. And that is going with a fairy houses theme, mainly given the tape that I showed at the start of this clip. Rather than using tape, you can of course draw them in yourself. The tape just makes the decoration easier and faster, but you can get very creative with the kinds of fairy houses you're going for. This was another one that I quite liked the colour palette of, just because it was something a little bit different to things that we might typically see. October is also Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and the symbol of breast cancer awareness is the pink ribbon, so you could go with a pink ribbons theme. This was a theme that I've actually done previously in my journal for October, but another option is going with AIDS awareness, which is a red ribbon. Thinking about a breast cancer awareness theme though, you could also add a reminder into your calendar for October to just give yourself a checkup. There are some helpful guides online about how you can do that self-check, because getting in early and noticing these changes as soon as possible can help save lives. For the decoration on this one, I've done a combination of some folded over ribbons with the black outlining, and also some simplified ones where it's just the general shape but done with the bullet end of a tombow. To fill in a bit more space in the box, we've also got some unwound ribbons in the corners too. While these theme ideas were specifically picked because they would be good for October, if you're still on the hunt for theme inspiration, we do have a full playlist of our previous theme idea videos. That one's in the top left. Or if you wanted to see my previous October setups in particular, the playlist at the bottom is for you. Click or tap on either of those and I'll see you over there.